Go ahead, invoke his name.
Neville, you filthy little scum.
Oh! Please let me die!
Beg.
Oh, God!
There is no respite for you here.
Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Slashers, giallo, and horror. It's the Doom Show. The cuckoo clock interrupts the show. Doomed Moviethon, death of the old salesman. Sweaty Cameron Mitchell. Hello, hello, this is the Doom Show. Richard, Brad, Jeffrey, Naffa. It's the Doom Show. It's the Doomed Show. Doomed Show.
Hello and welcome to Hello, this is the Doom Show. I am Richard.
I am Brad.
We are your favorite rap rock podcast talking about Limp Bizkit
And
311 and Maroon
Aerosmith.
5, Aerosmith and Run DMC, Dave Matthews Band rapping with
Barry Manilow.
Barry Manilow and some rock. Welcome to Hello, this is the Doom Show. I'm Tracy Lords.
I'm Ricky Six.
I'm Licky Dix.
Welcome to the summer of fun.
Hell yes. You may not hear this till fall, but damn it, it's summertime. Now, hopefully I'll get this out by August.
This is part of our annual summer series.
Heck yeah.
Now people are looking back and trying to figure out what last year's summer series was.
And the year before that, and the year before that.
Right.
Like, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Why don't these guys have more episodes? Because
I don't
we have
understand.
lives. Well, I don't have a life, but I pretend.
True.
We are here to talk about The Evil from 1978 or 77 or even 76 if you read about how this movie kind of got shelved for a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was reading something in that Nightmare USA book. He didn't do a chapter on it because I don't think Stephen Thrower likes this movie very much. But he did say that this movie might have been made as early as 76 and sat around for a little while.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's hard to tell when you have one of your main characters in some fucking sailor pants.
True. It looks 78-ish to me.
Yeah. Well, they were so ahead of their time. This movie is directed by Gus Triconis, and I love that name because of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Right.
We will get to when we'll talk a little more about this director. I want to play the trailer right now because the trailer for this movie is awesome.
Super hot.
So listen to this shit, and then you listen to us. Shit.
Right.
Nobody ever suspected what ancient terror slept beneath the Vargas house.
Stories get started about any old house that's been vacant for a while.
What kind of stories?
Oh, just stories. Just old wives' tales.
Look out!
Terror that turns laughter into screams. And loving pets into killers. For the house belongs to the evil.
Disturb not he who is here held in chains. This house. This house.
By the time you run, there is no escape. When you think you're free, you might be dead. By the time you learn the truth,
You can't do this!
it may be too late. Richard Crenna, Joanna Pettit, Victor Blomberg. The Evil. A New World picture.
Okay, that was the trailer for The Evil, and I had a little teaser. Gus Triconis directed Five the Hard Way, aka Side Hackers, my favorite, absolute favorite episode of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Boom.
Tell us more.
Well, that's all I have to say about this whole episode. Just kidding. Aside from The Evil, I almost forgot to say the other thing we're going to talk about. You want to get people hip to that jazz, dog?
She's Dressed to Kill?
Oh, no, I meant the other thing in this episode we're going to talk about.
Oh, we're going to talk about Edgar Wright's Grindhouse fake trailer for Don't.
Don't. Yes.
And the whole reason that we're doing this episode on The Evil is because you had joined a horror group on Facebook, and I joined it after you did. You invited me, and someone had posted the Don't trailer, and I had mentioned about how it looked a lot like The Legend of Hell House, which is one of my favorite films.
Oh, yeah.
And you said, oh yeah, and The Evil. And I said, The Evil, is that any good? And you said, yes, it is. And I looked. Seems like I had looked at The Evil not long before that, and it had Joanna Pettit in it, who I love. I'm a big Joanna Pettit fan. And so I was like, well, I'm going to buy this. And I said, is this show material? And you said, absolutely, it could be. So we're going to discuss the Don't trailer, which is my favorite of the fake trailers, and the only one that I would run over somebody's grandma to actually see a feature-length film of.
Well, see, all it takes is money, and if you can find someone who's willing to pay you a lot of money to run over their grandma, then you could do it, get the money, go to Edgar Wright, and have him make the Don't movie.
I think we're already in pre-production.
He'd be like, Don't. But anyway.
If you're going to run over somebody's grandmother to make this movie, don't. Or do.
Whichever. We don't care.
Edgar Wright. I own all of his films on Blu-ray. I love him.
Nice.
The fact that he did this very 70s horror, which we'll talk about it, but it just makes me love him even more.
Of course you do. He's amazing. Anyway, The Evil, I'm going to read the good old IMDb 2 sentence
Now, aren't you supposed to go find the DVD?
I'm lazy. Let me go get it.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to. That's become my favorite part of the show. Richard takes a trip to the DVD shelf. He comes back and reads. The back of the box case.
Hi.
I can't believe you made me get up. I was so comfy.
But you do this every episode. It's my favorite part of the show.
I know. So you can talk shit about me when I'm up and not hearing it.
You're always you
edit it.
Richard, you're so sexy. I hate your face.
You're so beardy.
Thank you. Oh my God. Director of photography, Fernando DeLeo? No, it's Mario DeLeo. Anyway.
Fernando's less talented brother.
Let's see. It's the Scream Factory. Excuse me, Scream Factory. Is it? Nope, it's just Shout Factory this time. They're Roger Corman's cult classics double feature, although I don't know how Roger Corman is involved with The Evil. Maybe he just owns this fucking movie. But
New World.
Oh, it's a New World movie?
I think so.
Oh, okay. But it comes with a double feature of The Evil and Twice Dead, which Brad raved about when he watched Twice Dead.
Not exactly.
No, he didn't.
It was fun.
You made me put off Twice Dead for a little while longer.
Yeah, The Evil is clearly the attraction of the disc.
It says on the back, psychologist C.J. Arnold, Richard Crenna, and his wife Carolyn, Joanna Pettit, buy a dilapidated historical mansion with a dark past in hopes of transforming the estate into a drug rehabilitation clinic with the help of some of his students and current patients. When he opens a secret door in the basement of the house, Arnold inadvertently releases a malevolent presence in Gus Triconis's The Evil. Gus Triconis, also starring Victor Buono, Andrew Prine, and Cassie Yates. It's hard to just say Victor Buono without my head exploding all over the house.
Him too.
Yeah, I'm really glad I picked this one up. I'm really glad.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the disc. That's the back of the box. I promise next time I'll have the disc ready. No, I won't. This movie starts with Sam, the scuzzy groundskeeper. I have to ask, did Sam, the scuzzy groundskeeper, did he sleep in a grave all night? Because he looks like a fucking corpse.
Possibly.
He's played by Ed Bakey, which I think means he's a wakey and bakey.
That too.
He was in a lot of stuff, like Dead and Buried. Unfortunately, he was in Zapped.
Oh, why would you besmirch Zapped?
Because I saw that when I was like 7, and it was really humiliating to watch with my parents.
Oh, another in the book of shame.
Sexy comedy. Yeah,
right.
I need therapy.
What about Zapped Again?
I might get Zapped Again. There's a sequel called Zapped Again.
Yeah, Zapped.
Oh boy.
Zapped Again, I think.
I think the third one's called Zapped Too Often.
Zapped a little bit often.
It's this caretaker. He's kind of like scared of the house a little bit, but he proves that he's brave enough to go down to the cellar and do some shit. He gets rewarded for this bravery by getting burned alive, which strangely enough turns him into a mummy.
I've just done some internet research, and there is a film called Zapped Again.
Well, there you go. There's the next episode for Nafa and I.
Linda Blair is in it, so I don't know why you've not seen it.
Does she get naked?
I doubt it. It's from 1990.
1990? Oh, shit. Her shoulder pads were huge by then. We finally get to the most important part of this movie, Richard Crenna.
Beardy Richard Crenna.
Oh my god, he's such a dick in this movie. I love it.
Would you stop fussing? Huh? Am I bleeding?
Are you sure you're all right?
Would you stop fussing? It isn't that serious. Oh.
Just let me look at it, all right?
Mr. Decker, can I give you a piece of advice? Never marry a doctor.
Richard Crenna of frickin' all kinds of good stuff. My favorite of his, oddly enough, is Death Ship.
Is that good?
Yes. I bought the Blu-ray, man. I love it. It's
there's a Blu-ray of Death Ship?
Yeah. It's
How did I not know this?
Oh. It's one of the few Blu-rays I own. Just kidding, I have a lot. It was actually one of the first Blu-rays I got. It was pretty good.
He did that right after this film, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Now I have to see Death Ship.
You should, man. I thought I talked about it a while ago. It's good. It's got a little bit of meandering, but I was totally into it when I watched it last time. It really scared me as a kid, so it was nice to see it again and actually find I really enjoyed it as an adult.
I've gained so much from this show.
He played a trout fisherman in Rambo. He was Trout Man.
That's what I always think of when I see Richard Crenna is Rambo.
I totally never think of that at all. Like, I think of him in, what is it? Death Ship. Yeah. And then scrolling through, I'm like, oh yeah, he was in Summer Rental. And oh yeah, he was in Leviathan and Hot Shots Part 2. Yeah. I never think of him in Rambo for some reason.
Very interesting.
He's a great actor. I like him a lot. He's just so surly in this movie.
He's very surly.
They're buying this house, the Vargas house, and we find out about old Mr. Vargas and that he died when he was 30. Which you're already like, okay, nothing makes sense. Great.
Old Mr. Vargas, who built this, he died in his 30s. Old at 30? Just a figure of speech. And the stories of an old man becomes old. It said his hair turned white, and only glimpses of him were ever seen after his 30th birthday. That was before the war, the Civil War, that is.
Joanna Pettit, tell me about her, dude. You had to remind me who she was.
Joanna Pettit is in 2 episodes, both pretty good. One of them better than the other, I think, of Thriller from the 70s. Not the Boris Karloff, but the Brian Clemens Thriller.
Mm.
A Midsummer Nightmare, which is a slasher, sort of. It's sort of a proto-slasher from 75. And then she's in a Killer in Every Corner episode of Thriller, which has got Patrick McGee in it.
Mm.
She is in Welcome to Arrow Beach. She was good friends with Lawrence Harvey, who directed Welcome to Arrow Beach, who also, that was his last film because he died. She is in some Night Gallery.
Ooh.
She is in Double Exposure, which is a film that I really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
She has a connection to the show. She was married, and may still be, I don't know, to one Alex Cord.
Oh, wow.
Who is the star of the first film that we ever did. She is also in an episode of one of your favorites, Murder, She Wrote.
Oh, shit. Oh, no, she totally divorced Alex Cord like 7 years after they got married. She couldn't take all that ham.
She is a very attractive lady.
She's beautiful.
She's a good actress. I wish she'd been in more.
Yeah, she retired in 1990.
I know. I would love to be able to talk about her. And she's somewhat of a scream queen, I guess. She's in a TV movie from 76 called The Dark Side of Innocence, which sounds like a horror film, but it's not.
Oh.
Which is sad. But no, she's in one of my favorite episodes of Thriller, and she's in this. And it's one of the main reasons I'm like, oh, I want to see this. Very attractive lady.
She plays Dr. Carolyn Arnold, Richard Crenna's wife. She is one of the psychologists / counselors of all these recovering drug addicts. She's also the most sensitive to spiritual activity, as the ghost of Mr. Vargas will try to communicate with her.
Right.
There's some funny shit where the real estate guy is telling them about how the Native Americans hated the spot that he built his house on. So, of course, it's like a Indian burial ground, but worse. They just called it the Valley of the Dead. So he's like, I'll build a house here. It'll be awesome. It didn't work out.
Yeah, I have written down, and I won't go through them now, but I've written down a list of tropes that appear in this film, and there are several.
I can't wait. We meet the sassy professor, Professor Raymond Guy, played by Andrew Prine.
A personal favorite.
Oh, dude, he is awesome.
This man has been in so many of my favorites. Grizzly, The Town That Dreaded Sundown, Crypt of the Vampire, or Crypt of the Living Dead, rather, excuse me. He's in Simon, King of the Witches, which I've not seen, but I want to.
See, I always think I've seen that one, but I'm mixing it up with something else. I don't think I've seen it.
Apparently he's Simon. A lot of people, he's got a pretty groovy mustache in Crypt of the Living Dead, and a lot of people think that he looks like John Holmes in that.
Yeah, is that the one that's also called Hannah, Queen of the Vampires?
Yes, sir. It recently got a Blu-ray release from Vinegar Syndrome, which I highly recommend.
Nice, thank you.
Barn of the Naked Dead.
Oh, shit. I've never heard anything good about that one. That's, was that not Vincent Price, who was the mad scientist in that? Wasn't it,
I don't recognize
Donald
anybody.
Pleasance?
No.
What was that one where Donald Pleasance was the mad scientist?
The Fear Makers?
Oh, okay.
Is that right?
Yeah, I'm mixing them up.
The trivia in the Barn of the Naked Dead says star Andrew Prine has been quoted as saying, "This is the only movie I ever regretted making."
I think that means we must see it.
We've got to see it.
Yep.
Barn of the Naked Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, son.
The best thing about Professor Raymond Guy is that he don't give a fuck. He is dating one of his students, Lori, played by Mary Louise Weller, and they flirt in class, and then when the class is dismissed at the college, they make out in the fucking hallway.
Yep.
That blew my mind. Like, oh, nice discretion, you guys.
Really?
Where should we go? Your place or mine?
You're crazy. You know that.
Mm-hmm. But it's not a very helpful thing for a psychologist to say.
You're still crazy, but you are a beauty.
And I have you all to myself all summer.
Oh, wait a minute. You've already got the job. What else do you want?
There's gotta be something.
I'd hate to ask.
You're a smart boy.
Oh, man. Mary Louise Weller is also very cute.
Very.
She was in Q, The Winged Serpent.
Mm-hmm.
That one movie that's in all of those frickin' budget collections, Blood Tide.
Blood Tide that no one has ever seen.
I cannot sit through it. That could be a challenge to each other to continue not watching it.
Challenge accepted.
Ooh, she played Sally, girl at party in Serpico. Remember her?
Yes, and I do. We must not look over her most important role as Denise in the TV movie Valentine Magic on Love Island.
Oh. She starred in Forced Vengeance with frickin' Chuck Norris. It was the one where he kicked a guy.
I remember that one.
Yeah, kicking
the one time he kicked a guy.
He kicked it old school.
And a pair of kids.
They're renovating this house, and shit is going to go very wrong in this house.
Very quickly.
Especially when Dwight the handyman shows up with his porno mustache.
Man.
He looks like a frickin' really disgusting, or more disgusting version of... what was the One Day at a Time guy?
That's exactly who I was thinking of. The one with the always in the white t-shirt with the cut-off jeans jacket and the tool belt.
Which is funny, because during our Elvis Moviethon, Lietta pointed out that actor. She's like, hey, look, it's blah-bitty-blah.
Very perceptive.
Schneider, a.k.a. Pat Harrington Jr., who was in Easy Come, Easy Go, an Elvis movie that we watched recently.
Wow.
Dwight was Robert Vajaro. He was in TV actor, lots and lots and lots of TV. He was also in I Never Promised You a Rose Garden, which
What did you promise me?
My band, Ladies of Death Row Swimsuit Calendar, has a song called I Never Promised You a Rose Gherkin. That's not even funny anymore. Or if it ever was.
It was.
Still is. We got this chick named Mary in the movie. She's a known dog lover because she brings her dog Kaiser, the German Shepherd. And one thing you don't do is bring a dog to a rehab facility because they do all the drugs.
Right.
Mary is played by Cassie Yates. She was in The Osterman Weekend, Sam Peckinpah movie.
It's kind of dull.
Yeah, it needed more slow motion to speed things up.
Mm-hmm.
Or a haunted place.
What?
You don't bring dogs to haunted places.
Is that all you had to say? Lietta said, don't bring dogs to haunted places.
No, that's on my list.
Oh, I bet you. Why don't you give your list of haunting-related things so that I can cross out and save ourselves later?
Okay, I've got Built on an Indian Burial Ground, or worse than an Indian Burial Ground. Something Crashing from the Ceiling. Animal Acting Up. Friendly, in quotation marks, Ghost Warning.
Mm-hmm.
Dusty Old Book. Storm. Locked Door That Should Stay Locked. Doors and Windows That Lock on Their Own. One Person Gets Out But Dies. That's what I've got.
Nice. The effective scare I liked was the statue head turning to look at Carol. That was really cool.
That was really cool.
I liked that. I did like the creepy whispering. Had a lot of that.
I think towards the end, when Lori is sucked up the stairs into the darkness, I think that's a really scary, effective moment.
Yeah. You don't see anything. I had to watch that part twice because I thought I missed something. It's like, no, she's in the darkness, and a dark figure, I believe credited as the demon, grabs her and drags her upstairs and presumably kills her. And when Raymond Guy tries to save her, he gets like karate chopped, demon style or something.
Well, he also has the goriest moment of the film.
Yes, he does. He gets possessed and almost cuts his entire hand off with a frickin' circular saw as he's trying to cut their way out of the house.
Yes.
Which they are trapped in, of course.
I think the film, I don't think anyone would ever call it like a stone cold classic.
No.
But it is a lot of fun. There is a lot of great dusty old atmosphere.
Yeah.
With having some strong actors in Prine, Pettit, and Crenna, I think they really lend a lot to the proceedings.
Yeah, they do.
My only issue with it was the ending the first time I watched it. The second time, I had kind of given into it, and I'm sure we'll get there.
Yeah.
It's very much a Legend of Hell House type film. Mm-hmm. It's not nearly as good, and I don't even mean for that to sound slightly harsh, because I do like the evil quite a bit.
Right.
It's just that the Legend of Hell House is one of the top 2 haunted house films I think made.
Yeah, it is definitely the film they're riffing on, if not entirely ripping off.
It was supposed to be somewhat of an Omen knockoff. Or Exorcist knockoff.
I'm glad they didn't go in either of those directions.
Yeah, me too.
In the middle of my notes, and in regards to the way this is set up, I wrote down, wait a minute, is this a slasher movie? Because if you don't have any supernatural elements, if a guy just walked in and started slashing these people to death and they're trapped in the house with him, it would be such a fine slasher setup, you know.
Absolutely.
A bunch of people who are stranded in some way or damaged in some way already, and you got their leader who's in denial about what's going on, you know, and the tension is there. It's not necessarily followed through upon. Thanks to the direction, but no, it's good stuff. All of the supernatural discussions between the characters about what's going on are wonderful. Their method of escape is the fucking dumbest shit I have ever seen, ever.
Elizabeth has said that twice now that we watched. She's like, that is not going to work.
The lightning rods. Lightning? I saw lightning rods on every peak in this house when we drove in this morning. If we still have enough of Dwight's cable left to reach from the collectors to these bars, maybe we can create an energy field. Generate enough heat to try to bend them.
CJ, that's not going to work.
Would it hurt to try?
No.
They try to use there's bars on the windows, and they're trying to use the lightning rods on the building in conjunction with the power supply to hook up the bars to some cables and melt the bars.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the idea. It's stupid.
So it's insane, and people get electrocuted.
Did you notice that a lot of the people in this film die by some sort of electrocution?
Yeah, especially the one that doesn't make any sense at all, because one guy's trying to climb down on wire or rope.
A rope.
And it gets too hot for Richard Crenna to hold, so he lets go, and then the guy bursts into flames as though he was being electrocuted.
Yeah, Snyder at the beginning gets electrocuted.
Yeah, he's the first one of their party to go, because the caretaker was already dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then the black girl, who is Felicia Lynn Moody, she also gets the entitied by the ghost. It rips her clothes off. It doesn't rape her, but it definitely rips her clothes off. Which is probably the most exploitative moment in the movie.
Probably. I think it's interesting that the friendly, and I put friendly in quotes, ghost of Vargas towards the end possesses Caroline and says, "I tried to warn you off by killing the caretaker." And it's like, yeah, You killed the caretaker, and then you put him in a dumbwaiter.
Yeah, they said we sacrificed him.
Yeah, we'd already been here for a while when we found him.
Asshole.
How was that supposed to work?
Oh, man. Oh, it's funny when they discover the body of the caretaker. When it falls out of the dumbwaiter thing, it totally is. The guy's totally alive. You can see him like catch himself as he falls. Which leads me to my favorite cheesy moment when the earthquake happens.
Right.
When Richard Crenna's character pulls the cross off of the lock of the gateway to hell. He opens it up. And the earthquake that happens, releasing the evil, I wrote down as Enterprise level effect.
It really is.
A bunch of red shirts fall over.
Did you see Andrew Prine do a flip?
Yeah. Brilliant. Oh, man.
Okay, let's talk about the ending.
We need to because it's fucking bonkers. Oh, wait. There is one more thing before the ending. There's one scare that's really important to my childhood. It is the Ray gets free, and I put that in quotation marks.
Oh, man.
After Laurie is killed by the demon off camera and Ray barely gets away with his life, he manages to get out. He swings the door open and runs out. Or no, he jumps through a window and gets outside, right. And he's so happy to be free, and he's screaming, "I'm free, I'm free!" Then he makes the mistake of walking on the grass. And when he walks on the grass, it turns into quicksand.
Right.
And Ray falls in and drowns in the quicksand. This was the moment from my childhood. I saw this movie when I was a kid. And him falling into that quicksand and being killed scared me to death. I was haunted by that. I'm still scared of quicksand.
Wow.
Oh, and there's one weird moment. Did you catch the necrophilia moment when everyone gets possessed?
Yes.
What?
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
Fuck? Talk about a favorite moment, a throwaway moment. Carol gets distracted. She starts to learn the secrets. I think she gets possessed at some point, and is speaking, through, the ghost is speaking through her. After Mary is killed, her and her dog fall to their death over the side of the railing. And it's pretty funny. But her body sits up at one point. It scared the shit out of me. This time, it scared the shit out of me. It also scared Felicia. But
no doubt.
Before that, you find a moment where Laurie, CJ, and Raymond are standing around her dead body, and Carol's like, "Hey guys, what are you doing?" And Raymond is kissing Mary's dead body while everyone just stands around with their heads bowed. And I was like, what? And the movie, I think, needs more stuff like this. I was really... just seeing a movie this by the numbers do something that fucking weird is really cool.
Yes, and Richard Crenna has got some makeup on his face to make him look more beast-like.
Yeah. He is very good in that. He gets blasted across the room when she shows him the cross. So good. But yeah, talk about the frickin' the ending.
Okay, so they've got the cross that was holding the door shut in the basement. And they go to the basement, and they're trying to shut the door, and she falls in. So then he jumps in after her, and he wanders into this giant white room. And lo and behold, in a chair is everyone's favorite uncle, Victor Buono.
Oh my God.
And Buono is laughing at him and tells him,
"What is it you want?"
There. See what I mean? After all I've put you through and you still don't know.
And he's like, "Give me the cross, give me the piece of holy excrement." And Crenna won't do it.
Nope.
Because Crenna started out as an atheist. You get the feeling that everyone is, except for Caroline. She's the only one that believes. Well, he swings around to her side once he sees what all is going on. As the camera looks away from Victor Buono, a.k.a. the devil, to Richard Crenna, and then goes back to Buono, his makeup has changed, where he's a little more devilish, a little more devilish, which is pretty cool. So Crenna is on his knees, has been sucked back towards him. Buono is having his moment of triumph. In runs Joanna Pettit, Caroline, with the cross and stabs him in the chest, which is a pretty cool moment.
Loud.
Very. They run back across the room, which is filled with white mist. Some trivia, I read that his white suit cost $1,000 to make, which in 1978 was probably the majority of the budget. The cross shoots out of his chest across the room. They pick it up. They run out. He gets her out. He gets back up. The house is shaking. They run out. It's the end.
Nice.
Now, when I first watched it, I told Elizabeth, I'm like, well, that ending does not work for me at all. But I've enjoyed what preceded it so much that I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah.
The second time I watched it, which was last night in preparation for the show, I didn't mind it as much because I knew it was coming. Now, there are rumors that there are prints out there without that ending scene.
Really?
But no one can say that they saw it without it.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably just a rumor, because everyone on IMDb is like, I've heard that rumor, but I saw this in the theater in 78 and it was there.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would have ended it otherwise. It'd be interesting to know if there was an idea for how it was to end otherwise. Victor Buono is a very talented guy, but he certainly lends an air of camp.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very threatening. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and I don't want to sound nitpicky again. He's the devil, but he's been imprisoned in this house by Vargas. It doesn't really add up.
No, not at all.
As they leave, they look up into the tower, and there's Vargas's ghost. And I thought the stuff with the Vargas was good.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. You're right. It's interesting because there are probably 4 key moments in this film that probably belong in a scarier film where the statue turns its head at first.
Yeah.
That's an early moment, and you're like, holy shit, we're in for it. Well, you're not exactly in for it. The film, I really enjoy it. I would recommend it to anyone. It is not on the level of A Haunting or The Innocents or The Legend of Hell House, but I think that I would probably call it a minor classic. I think it's probably got a lot of replay value. I've seen it twice now within a month and enjoyed it immensely both times. What do you say?
I really like this a lot. I feel pretty much the same way you do. There's a lot of schlock, which is, stuff that's by the numbers, and you're like, okay, we've seen this a lot, but there's those points you were talking about that make it unique, that make it good. The foreshadowing is really strong. The I don't know what the hell's going to happen next. Fights with the stuff that seems really familiar. It's like, it's uneven, but it never is boring. The Victor Buono as the devil thing is just so fucking insane that I like it. I can't even imagine what else they would have done. I listened to some of the audio commentary, and even the director and the writer and the cinematographer, they all were very critical of the film and just said, well, we did what we could do. And Victor Buono was given to them for whatever role he was supposed to have in the movie. They had no choice at all in the casting, which I thought was funny. At least that's what the director claims. But they made the best of it, and it shows that they made the best of it.
Right.
As far as revisiting this from when I was a kid, because this was my first viewing since childhood, because I kind of just forgot about this movie, although it has some scenes that really freaked me out. I'm really, really happy I picked this up. This is just good stuff. I will definitely be rewatching this at a later date. Yeah, I recommend this one too, especially if you like 70s stuff. Don't expect don't expect an overabundance of gore or nudity. In fact, this film feels like they were kind of trying to sell it to TV.
There's a little bit of language.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they could have got Andrew Prine's skill saw cut to the hand on
they
TV,
would have definitely trimmed the hell out of that. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's moments like that where I'm like, well, I mean, that's the first time I saw this was on TV, so it wasn't too hard to trim it a little bit. Let's see. One of the writers did something. that I think I like a little better than this, but not too much. Superstition?
Oh, yeah, Superstition.
Galen Thompson, the screenplay. He also played the ghost in the movie. He wrote 1982 Superstition, which is pretty fun.
Yeah, that's a show candidate.
Oh, absolutely it is. It has a lot of similar, as a haunted house and things that look like accidents happen. Although I think there's a head in a microwave.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of when I thought of that movie.
He also wrote Sidekicks.
What's that?
Jonathan Brandis and Chuck Norris.
Oh, baby.
You remember that one. Where Jonathan Brandis is a bullied kid and he dreams that he's Chuck Norris.
Ooh.
And there's a lot of fantasy scenes, and then I think Chuck Norris shows up.
Nice. The other guy, David Sheldon, who came up with the story for this, he did some crazy shit. He wrote the screenplay for Grizzly.
Ooh. And
he also co-produced Grizzly. He also was executive producer on The Manitou.
Interesting.
He was one of the producers on Just Before Dawn. He was also a producer on, oh boy, Abby, the frickin' blaxploitation Exorcist movie.
So that means he worked with Girdler, because Girdler directed Abby.
Oh, he did?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
That's funny. Oh, Victor Buono was in one thing that was kind of okay, was The Mad Butcher. From 71. In 71, he did The Mad Butcher, which is, Italian horror film. It's a co-production that was okay. Definitely not one to seek out unless you're really desperate. He was also in a giallo called The Man with Icy Eyes.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, with frickin' Antonio Sabato and Barbara Boucher.
I've seen it, but I don't remember him being in it. But it's
well, that movie's not exactly memorable. It's okay.
It's one of the odd, one of the rare gialli set in Arizona.
Yes, it is.
The Arizona State Senate.
Very odd. Yep. You can read about that one in Giallo Meltdown, a Moviethon diary, on sale now. Bing. I wrote that shit. Boom. 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 Did you have anything else to say about The Evil before we move on?
It's one of those exciting finds where you realize there's still films from the 70s that you haven't seen. And I think it's a little gem of a film. I don't think it's perfect. But I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed watching it twice, and I've enjoyed talking about it with you.
Heck yeah. Definitely enjoyed it.
There's 3 solid actors in it with Crenna, Joanna Pettit, Andrew Prine, and I'm a bit of an Andrew Prine fan as well. I think he was in some fun stuff, so no, it was a lot of fun to watch.
Nice. That's interesting.
What?
Did you see the Halloween 1978 Halloween connection to this movie?
I did not.
George O'Hanlon Jr. He played Pete. We didn't even mention this guy. That's how memorable this character is. He played Pete, the prankster. He's one of the people in the drug rehab group. I was just, for no reason, clicking on his movie credits here, and I noticed he's in Halloween. He plays Mr. Peter Myers, who at the beginning of the movie says, "Michael?" and takes off Michael's takes off Michael's clown mask.
Well, you've certainly blown my mind.
Dude, that's like when you spotted, what's-her-face from Halloween 2 in the prom night episode.
Yeah, that blows my mind. I had no idea it was him.
So
well,
good.
I've got a talking point for the next time I watch it with Elizabeth.
Bam!
Which will probably be this week, because we watch it all the time.
Sweet. As an added bonus to this episode, we're going to talk about the trailer for Don't, a film that does not exist outside of the trailer. Unfortunately.
Sadly.
Hopefully one day Edgar Wright will make it into a feature film. I'm going to play the audio from the trailer right now because it's amazing.
If you are thinking of going into this house, Don't. If you are thinking of opening this door, don't. If you are thinking of checking out the basement, don't look behind. Don't look either. Don't look up. Don't look anywhere. Don't scream for help. Don't move a muscle. Don't even breathe. Don't. If you are thinking of seeing this film alone, don't.
And that was the audio from the trailer. Brad, why did you want to talk about this?
Well, like I said, someone had shared it on a group that we both belong to, and I had said, love this pastiche of some of the Legend of Hell House, among other things, of course. And you mentioned the evil, and that's how we got into this episode. Of course, I love Edgar Wright. It starts out with a team of scientific people that are going to go into this house, one of which looks a lot like Roddy McDowall. And when I watched the making of documentary, I discovered it is Mark Gatiss. I had no idea. Who horror people will know is a huge horror fan. Doctor Who. He plays Mycroft Holmes on the Sherlock series.
Nice.
From the BBC. He says he's supposed to be a combination of David Warner and Roddy McDowall, but it's straight up Roddy McDowall.
That's awesome.
Straight up.
Awesome.
But then there are lots of little other types of films within it. Retarded man-child locked in the basement. A game of hangman gone wrong. Head splitting. Possessed children.
Yeah.
But out of all of those Grindhouse fake trailers, that's the one for me that I was just like, oh, I wish they'd make it. Because you can tell, even though it's fun, that Edgar Wright loves that sort of thing. And he talks about how the reason that he named it Don't is not primarily because of the films like Don't Look in the Basement, Don't Answer the Phone. It's how Italian films and European films would have a certain title that made sense, and when they came to America, they would retitle them. And he mentioned like Twitch of the Death Nerve,
yeah,
the Living Dead of Manchester Morgue, which was changed to
Don't Open the Window.
Don't Open the Window, which just makes no sense, really. The thing that, of course, that came to my mind is how they retitled Mario Bava's The Whip and the Body into what? He says it. These titles tell you absolutely nothing about the film, and Don't obviously does not tell you anything about the film. But the scratchiness of the film. I mean, he packs 6 or 7 horror films into this minute and 15-second. It's so brilliant.
There's that weird white goo that's dripping out of everything.
Yeah.
There's the blind, unseeing eyes, and there's a killer.
The madman.
Yeah.
That is Simon Pegg.
Nice.
And I did not know that until today.
It's brilliant. It's one of those things that, because I saw Grindhouse in theaters, and the audience, we had a great crowd. We had a packed house that day. It was opening weekend. And man, when all of the Grindhouse trailers played, everybody lost their mind for those. But man, when I was watching that Don't, I was in heaven. And it gets better with repeat viewings. I mean, it's so funny that this little 2 minutes can be so fucking brilliant.
Unbelievably.
What I love about a lot of people's criticizing of the whole Grindhouse experience, especially of Planet Terror, is the use of faking old film stock and making things look tattered and worn. It's fun when it's done right. When you're making something that's supposed to be a forgotten weird old thing, then it's okay, you know?
I mean, that's the point.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people do it. It's an affectation to try to, because a lot of Grindhouse type directors and that are inspired by that stuff are trying to make these films feel like, you know, the old classics that have been run through too many showings and are all falling apart and everything. Hey, you know, it's fun. Why not? I love that stuff. And it really serves Don't very well, because it's like...
Very well.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so... let's hope that one day Edgar Wright will make more horror, and maybe even go back to make Don't.
Oh, I would love it.
I even like the one that won the contest, Hobo with a Shotgun.
Yeah, you had told me that you liked that actual film, and I've not seen it.
I watched the Hobo with a Shotgun trailer, and it was pretty fun. And I kind of put off Hobo with a Shotgun. I was worried it was going to suck. Like, just something about it. I got really, this is going to be bad. And then I finally rented it, and I loved the tits off that movie. Man, it is great. It never lets up. It is just unrelenting, bad taste and, trashy dialogue, and the 80s just smeared all over your face. It's awesome. I'm a huge Planet Terror fan, so just saying.
You are. I recently, well, I don't know how recently, but I bought the Blu-rays of Grindhouse. I am somewhat of a Death Proof apologist. I think probably outside of Jackie Brown, it's Tarantino's most derided film.
Oh, absolutely it is.
I like it. It comes off as a 70s exploitation film, where Planet Terror, I think, comes off as an early 80s exploitation zombie film.
Mm-hmm.
I think they pair well together. I think it's awful that it didn't do as well at the box office.
Oh, Grindhouse is a huge disaster.
Yeah, it precludes them from doing anything like that. I mean, there's the werewolf women of the SS trailer. That's fun.
So good.
I mean, you've got was it Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu?
That was the moment in the whole Grindhouse experience that people lost their mind. We were laughing so hard that we couldn't even hear what he was saying. And Nicolas Cage as Fu Manchu, and we see him, and everyone in the theater is laughing, and he's going, and he says, "This is my vision." I had no idea what he said. It was so fucking funny.
The fact that he appeared just shows he's into fun.
No shit.
You know?
As far as Death Proof goes, I've come around to it. I used to dislike it. Recently, when I watched the Grindhouse Blu-rays with both movies in a row, with the trailers in between, I kind of enjoyed Death Proof. It is so unbelievably violent. Like, it is nuts how violent that shit is. And, I think I might just be burnt out on chicks talking. If you love his dialogue, you'll love that movie.
The problem that I had with Death Proof is that everyone said, well, not everyone said, Tarantino himself said, "This is my slasher film, but the slasher is the car."
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's true.
No, not at all.
And also, he said it in a way where you're like, well, why don't you make a real slasher film?
Thank you.
With
I totally agree with you.
A real killer. This is a tough girl film, is what this is. It's not a slasher. I mean, of course, it's got Kurt Russell, whom I love, as Stuntman Mike, and his name is Stuntman Mike, which is amazing. But no, I think it deserves another look from folks. I've come around to Planet Terror big time. So, you and I were kind of different, coming from different sides to the Grindhouse film.
I'm a big Robert Rodriguez apologist, and you are not.
No, but I don't know what my problem was, really. I don't know. I like that quite a bit. I remember liking Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Yeah.
I went and saw From Dusk Till Dawn at the theater. My friend Chris is like, "You are full of shit." And I said, "What?" He said, "You said this was a vampire film." And I'm like, "Well, it looked like it was in the trailer."
Just wait.
And then, of course, yeah, there is, but it's towards the end.
I recommend the Blu-ray of that one. That's a great movie.
I don't think I don't think Elizabeth and I have watched From Dusk Till Dawn together. So that means I've not seen it in at least 8 years.
Oh, man, fired up. It's good. I like it.
Mm-hmm. But no, it made sense that those two would gravitate towards each other. I don't know about you, but I am really, really, really looking forward to The Hateful Eight.
Yes and no. I did not really love Django Unchained. I
did.
I love the acting, and I loved the white guilt, the horrible things that my people have done. I really liked the way slavery was portrayed in that movie because it made me feel horrible. It's like, oh God, I feel terrible.
As bad as it sounds, as possibly vilified as I'll get for this comment, I looked at it as just entertainment.
Oh yeah.
You know,
it's very, it builds very big, entertaining beats with the characters.
I mean, in the end, the black dude wins.
Oh, yes, he does.
All the white folks die.
Thank God.
I have to be careful. I had a black person living above me, and I had to watch it really low because I did not want to offend anyone, and I truly did not.
It has some offensive content, yes.
Yes. I think The Hateful Eight being a snowbound Western film with Kurt Russell, you've sold me.
Yeah.
70 millimeter, which of course I won't be able to see it in 70 millimeter.
Right.
But just the idea of just a super wide VistaVision type screen just excites me. No one's doing Westerns anymore.
And that's the thing is I don't want to see another Western from him right now. Mm-hmm. I'd rather him do something not Western and then maybe go back to Westerns.
You know, I can totally understand that. And the problem with that is when you find out a director that you enjoy is doing a genre that you don't, you're like, well, there's another 4 years that I'll have to wait till he does something different.
Exactly. Because I am
minimum.
My favorite Tarantino movie, and it's just because I can watch it over and over again, is Kill Bill 1 and 2.
I think he is much more talented, I think, as a director from Kill Bill till today than he was with Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, and Jackie Brown.
Yeah. Kill Bill is, like just seeing the first part in theaters and then the agony of waiting for the second one and then going to see it, and it's so different. The second one is on a totally different level, different plane of existence than the first one, and just loving it because it was so different and not knowing what the fuck was going to happen next, you know?
Uh-huh.
And I've revisited that on film. I can't wait on film. Revisited that on Blu-ray, and I can't wait to watch it again.
I bought the Blu-rays. Oddly enough, I had seen Kill Bill Part 1 in the theater and enjoyed the film, but had a miserable theater experience. And then I did not see Kill Bill Part 2 until maybe 2 years ago on DVD.
Wow.
So I bought the Blu-rays. I haven't watched them yet. I would love to have a Kill Bill, Inglourious Bastards, Django Moviethon. Of course, that would take forever.
Yes, it would. Oh, I wanted to ask you about Edgar Wright. Tell me about your favorite Edgar Wright movies.
Okay, Shaun of the Dead, of course, this is the one where I found him, and I think a lot of people did. I've since gone back and bought Spaced, which I really, really enjoy as well. Huge horror fan, me, obviously. Zombies I love. So you would think that it would be Shaun of the Dead, and it is a fantastic film, I think. But for me, it's Hot Fuzz all the way. Hot Fuzz is, to me, a perfect film. I could watch Hot Fuzz anytime. It has so many great British actors in it. Timothy Dalton is amazing in it. Just amazing. To think that you're watching Nicholas Angel, Simon Pegg, and he's the same dude that was Sean, just shows really what a range of acting he has.
Oh, yeah.
But I can honestly say I enjoy all of his films. I've got them all on Blu-ray. I think The World's End is the one that takes the longest to settle in. I don't think it's quite as good as the other two. I heard somebody talking shit the other day on the internet about Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which I can't fathom personally why you would not like that film. I think it is I think the man is a major talent. I hate it that he didn't get to do Ant-Man. If he had done Ant-Man, I would go see Ant-Man. I probably won't as it stands, but if it had been Edgar Wright doing Ant-Man, I definitely would have gone to the theater to see it. His style, there's a great YouTube video about jokes, about how people do jokes in modern and mainstream Hollywood films now. And it intercuts some stupid films with the way that Edgar Wright pays off jokes. Stuff like transition scenes that in modern films mean nothing. They're just that, transition scenes. Edgar Wright puts jokes in them. He makes them work with his editing. He sets up jokes and they pay off much later. There's a lot to be mined from his films. I think there's stuff that I pick up still from Hot Fuzz and still from Scott Pilgrim that I haven't caught before. I think it's a major shame that he didn't do Ant-Man, but I think he's a great director.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Scott Pilgrim is my favorite of his.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's a comic book adaptation, but I never think of it that way because I never read Scott Pilgrim.
Right. Now, my thing with Shaun of the Dead was seeing it in theaters was great. I just didn't like the emotional turn it takes, which I probably bitched about before to you. I wanted the comedy beats to keep coming, and it takes a very short break for some what is supposed to be heart-wrenching. It just never convinced me. Hot Fuzz, I liked Hot Fuzz. I thought it was too long. I think the next time I watch Hot Fuzz, knowing that it's a favorite of yours, I think I'll give it a more of a fair shake. Haven't seen World's End yet. I skipped that one because the trailers just didn't do it for me.
The trailer is a little misleading. I don't think it's as good as the other two, but it's still miles ahead of everybody else, I think.
Yeah. Scott Pilgrim is and was a great date movie. I mean, it's just so much fun. It's like, I've never read the comics either. I did get confirmation from my buddy Sam. He said that Scott Pilgrim is actually worse in the comics. Like, he's more of a dick than he is in the movie, and that blew my mind.
It was also a box office bomb, as best as I remember.
Oh my god. Dude, that's crazy.
No, it's so good.
Yeah, that's a Blu-ray I happily bought. I was like, I was at Movie Stop, and some fool had bought the steel box and had traded it in. And I swear they never even opened it. Like, I mean, it was open, but they'd never fucking watched it. It was perfect. So wow. I got it for super cheap, and I'm so happy. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a Lietta favorite as well, right?
Oh, yeah, she loves it. She loves it. She picked it to watch the other night. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, Edgar Wright, good stuff. I don't know what was wrong with Marvel.
I'm excited about Ant-Man, but I think I'm the only one. I don't know anybody that's really as excited about it as me. But then again, I'm on a comic book binge, like comic book horror. I almost said comic book horror movie. A comic book movie binge. Like, I'm excited about Batman versus frickin' Superman. I'm excited about Suicide Squad. I'm even excited about Deadpool, and I don't even give a flying fuck about Deadpool. I just like Ryan Reynolds.
Well, I'll see all those movies eventually.
Yeah. I'll get my ass to the theater for Ant-Man. I'll take Lietta to that one. She's also wild about comic book movies. So. We even tried to go back to Daredevil.
How did that work?
No, not so good. Ben Affleck, like, get the producer's cut or blah blah blue, and we got it, and we're like, this is it's just intolerable. It's just not. We got rid of it as soon as we got it. I got it for $3. It was $3 too much.
I remember, and we're talking one viewing a piece, but I remember personally liking the Elektra movie better than I did.
See, I can't watch it because of my feelings for Elektra. Like, it was bad enough seeing Jennifer Garner as her once. I gave her a shot. I was like, okay, Jennifer Garner, fine. She'll be fine. No, she was not fine as Elektra. She fucking sucked as Elektra. There's no way I'm watching that other one. But I don't doubt you at all that it's a better movie.
It was more of a ninja film.
Yep.
Than Daredevil. I liked it, but I liked her because I liked Alias at the time.
Yeah.
Like, my uncle was big into comics for years, and when they change things now, he gets really upset, and I finally just given it up. I told him, I'm like, I don't care anymore, because if I want to read a certain thing, I just go back and read it. That's my Spider-Man. That's my Batman.
Yeah.
If they want to change it now, let them. If I don't like it, I won't watch it.
Yeah. No, I totally am I'm very open-minded with that stuff, because I have a huge disconnect with caring about that stuff, because, would I have ever imagined as a kid that Psylocke would be in a movie from the X-Men? I would have never in a million years would have imagined that. And yet, there she is. She's going to be in the next X-Men movie.
And her costume's correct?
Her costume is correct, but it's not the Psylocke I love. I like the frumpy British Psylocke, not the reborn as an Asian assassin Psylocke. See?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm that nerdy about it, but it's like, I'm in it to win it, man. Like, the Avengers, all that shit won me over. It's just nice to go to the theater and see a comic book movie. People are freaking out. Comic book movies are ruining film as we know it. Hollywood is going to shit. I'm like, no. Hollywood has always been shit. Okay? You have to pick and choose, and comic book movies are hot. When they start bombing and they start getting shitty, people are going to bail and will laugh about how bad comic book movies got. But the fact is, they're still good and they're still fun.
I'm of the opinion that the DC television universe with Arrow and Flash is much better than their cinematic universe.
Right. I've yet to see those.
Jeffrey said The Flash was like the funnest thing on television forever, and he was totally right. The Flash was amazing. I'm also a big Arrow fan. I know it kind of lost its way a little bit, but we watched them all so close together that I didn't really notice. I highly recommend you and Leah to watch The Flash.
Oh, man, we're going to watch them both. We're going to watch Arrow and The Flash pretty soon.
So much fun.
Man, we got off topic. Look at that.
Well, hey, that's what we do.
From the evil to Arrow. I love it.
I'm telling you.
Folks, thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed this conversation as much as Brad and I enjoyed having it.
Absolutely.
You're listening to our 200th episode. No. This is like episode 80-something? I don't know. I can't number them anymore because I'm confused.
We're getting up there.
If I even tried to number them as we were recording them, it would get all fucked up.
Yeah.
The computer voice would break in and explain things.
We'd have 3 episode 80s.
Like, I'd be replaced by the ghost of Dimebag Darrell. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Good night.
See ya.
If you would like to contact Hello, this is The Doomed Show. Please email us at doomedmoviethong@gmail.com or check us out at facebook.com/Hello Doomed Show. We are also on Twitter. Sorry about that. @DoomedMovieThong. #Hello Doomed Show. For the old ass episodes that you missed, find our archived episodes at doomedmoviethong.com. Don't forget to eat fruit and veggies. 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 Veggies.